And the Louisville Cardinals with the biggest win in school history. Louisville comes from 12 down to take the lead.
Welcome to the CardinalConnect.com. I am Nick Coffey here with you to talk about Louisville's win over North Florida on Saturday, a convincing win as they move to 3-0 on the season. And a lot of folks, including myself, outside of Kentucky and Michigan State, this is the team I thought that would give Louisville more problems than anybody else on the non-conference slate of the schedule. That's not saying a whole lot, but North Florida's a pretty good team. They hit 17 threes in their first two games, including a win over Illinois, a Big Ten team that was expected to be a tournament-caliber team this year. And early on, Louisville didn't come out playing bad. They learned the hard way that North Florida's a team that's going to give you some matchup problems. I think North Florida started 6 of 8 from 3, and they weren't really doing a whole lot on defense. But if you take a couple plays off here and there, they're going to make you pay, and that's what North Florida did. I think Louisville got out to maybe an 8 to 9 point lead a couple times in the first half, but those leads were erased very quickly just by giving North Florida any daylight from 3. But it was the second half where Louisville came out and just maybe, Rick Pitino said it. I'd have to look back and really go over previous years' games and see if I fully agree, but he labeled this as the best half on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, that he can remember in the Yum Center. And this game may not stand out months from now because it is North Florida, not to take anything away from them, but it's not a conference matchup, it's not a ranked team. But it's hard to argue with what Coach Pitino said because Louisville was so good on defense. And really, I keep going back to this. I've said it for, I feel like the first 3 post-game podcasts that we've done, you have to consider the competition that they're playing, but this team, they look pretty damn good right now. And I still think the ultimate test is going to be on December 2nd when they go to East Lansing and take on Michigan State. But right now, it's really hard to be critical of this team. I mean, they were without Ding Adele, who's he's a key member of the rotation, but he's not a leading scorer or anything like that. And they didn't miss a beat. You got to talk about Ray Spalding, the true freshman who had, without question, the best performance of his young career. 18 points, 12 rebounds, was active, and it's going to be hard to keep him out of the starting lineup, in my opinion. I've all along I've said I'm with Rick Pitino. I realize starters don't really matter when you play that many guys, but he played really, really well. I think this was the first time you really got to see Damian Lee and Trey Lewis, those two guys, benefiting with them mutually, because one guy's kind of had his night here and there, more Damian Lee than anything, but I thought Trey Lewis really stood out on Saturday against North Florida, and both those guys played really well. Damian Lee led the way with 24 points, and Quentin Snyder, he's not really getting a whole lot of attention right now because he's not scoring a lot of points, but the numbers don't show you just how much he's doing for this team right now. He's the catalyst. He's leading the offense, not just with assists, but he is kind of directing traffic. He is keeping everybody, he's setting everybody up. The offense just runs much smoother when he's in the game. And I thought in the second half, after not really shooting well in the first half, he came out, took a couple of really good mid-range jump shots, and I could go down the whole rotation and compliment all the guys that played because for the most part everybody played well. Now, of course, guys like Damian Lee, Trey Lewis, and Ray Spalding had the best games, but it was a great team performance, and it's just 3 games. You've not really played any team that's going to get you a lot of credit nationally, but it's hard to be critical because they played really well. And I need to mention this: North Florida's a good team. They're going to give some teams some problems this year. Louisville, winning by 30 points isn't exactly what I expected, and I don't think Louisville winning by 30 points means North Florida's not that good. I think they are. I just think Louisville wore them down with their size. They played really good defense. Even North Florida's a great shooting team, but Louisville played really good defense in the second half, and I think at one point they were outscoring them 37-10 in the second half. So, and keep this in mind, guys. North Florida is going to play it at LSU December 2nd, which just so happens to be the same night that Louisville takes on Michigan State. I'm picking it an upset. I think North Florida will beat LSU. I think they're gonna give that team a lot of problems, and I think North Florida's a team that makes the tournament. Now, from here on out, we got to be honest. I don't necessarily know how much competition you're going to have from now until conference play, of course, outside of Michigan State and Kentucky. North Florida was one of the very few, one of the only teams outside of the ones we just mentioned that are pretty good. Some of these other teams that are going to be on the schedule, they may hang around for a half. They may have better seasons than what they were predicted to have before the season started. But if we're being honest, not a lot of talent, not a lot of talented teams that should give Louisville problems from now until January. Other than, of course, we know Michigan State and Kentucky are going to be big tests. But anyways, we'll be back hopefully with the holidays coming up. Who knows what the schedule is going to be like, but hopefully we'll be back at some point after the next game here, and we'll recap some more Cardinal basketball. But I have to keep mentioning, so far so good. They're 3-0, and they look pretty good.